graduated Bentley in 2010. I cannot believe it's been 15 years, but it's been a quick 15 years. While I was here, I did a few internships. I did an internship in finance, I did an internship in sales, realized I did not want to do finance, loved sales. My senior year, I did an internship at a biotech company. I hear you guys are talking about industries. While I was here, I saw that the expected spending in healthcare over the next 30 years was just like up, 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 up. Or defense spending as like great industries to go into. I figured I'd like save lives by making new drugs, which is a great place to be in Boston. So I chose biotech. Got an internship my senior year and was doing sales for a service company doing drug discovery. And that's ultimately where I went after graduation. So I was their 5th full-time employee. I was their first non-PhD. And I was in charge of their sales and marketing. What they're doing is drug discovery. And it's an industry I ended up staying in for the following 15 years. Basically, a big pharma company or a mid-sized company can hire and train their own scientists to develop their own drugs, or they can outsource it. They increasingly outsource it. So these great, multi-billion dollar industry service companies supporting drug discovery right here in the Boston area. That's what I jumped into. So I was the 5th employee. Over the course of the next 3 years, I learned how to run a business. We scaled that business from 3 to 35 people based on the work of our sales team. By the time I was 22, I was managing a sales team of 5 people, most of them older than me, and I didn't have that much support. So I'm a total nerd. I read a ton of books. At this point, I've read easily over 100 books on how to sell, how to be a sales manager, how to be a leader. And then I got to apply that in a company that was like on the brink of bankruptcy the whole time we scaled, but it was all organic and great experience. So I was 25 when me and another coworker, I ran sales, the guy who ran the lab, him and I came together to start our own business doing drug discovery. I was a minority owner at that point, I owned just like a single-digit amount. I was the CEO of the business when we got started, and we bootstrapped it. His parents gave us like a couple $100,000 loan to get it started, which in biotech is nothing, and we bootstrapped it. So for the first 2.5 years, I had another full-time job selling TV services so that I could not have to pay myself out of the business. I was working a lot. So I was 25. I was 27, I got married to another Bentley grad, Katie. We met here at Bentley and started dating after. 29, I was age 29, we had our first kid. And then 6 months after that, we bought a house. 6 months after that, I leveraged the house that we had just saved 7 years for to buy out my co-founder. So I became the 90% owner of the business, he went to the minority owner. I was able to leverage a little over $100,000 in equity in my house, and I put down that down payment to be able to get almost $2 million worth of debt to be able to buy and fund the business. And so we were all in, right? If that business failed, we lose the house, we go bankrupt, we go all, but that's what allowed me to be able to actually own the business myself instead of taking on VC or PE money, and I'm gonna talk about that. So, fast forward 3 years. In the course of that time, we're scaling this biotech business. I bought it at a valuation of about $2 million. I did a fundraising round, thinking that I wanted to raise 5-ish million. I went to a bunch of the top venture capital and PE companies in the area, had a ton of meetings. It's very easy to get meetings with venture capitalists. It takes forever, but you get them. They didn't want to write a check that small. $5 million was too small of a check, or they wanted to own 80% of my business. And after meeting with all these venture capitalists, I just realized how untenable that was. They wanted me to go out and buy another business instead of investing in what I had. So I raised $1 million from high net worth individuals, some of which came from my Bentley peers and their parents or investors who I'd found in the area. But I would just generally suggest in business that going for venture capital money is just the worst. We'll talk more about it later. I raised $1 million, and then 2021, 3 years later, we sold the business. It was $190 million to Twist, which is a publicly traded company. And I was able to maintain more than half of the company's ownership through sale. The sale was all stock. I was restricted to sell for over 18 months. It went from $120 a share to $18 a share. That's my take-home money there. But what it did was absolutely just life-changing experience for me to be able to start and run a business. bought my dream home in Duxbury, and spent 2 years setting up a hobby farm, having rough hands instead of typing hands. For the past year, I've been getting back out into the world. I've been writing a book to share some of my experiences, and I coach business owners. I've been doing that for the past 10 years, but for the past 3 years, I've done a lot of it. Coached over 100 people on how to start, grow, and sell a business.